Well, hey there, friend. I'm mighty glad you stopped by today. I've been meaning to talk to you about something real important. Something that, if we're being honest, nobody likes to bring up, but somebody has to. Before you roll your eyes and say, "Oh, Paul, here he goes again with his dramatic stories," I need you to really listen this time. Because this one, it's not just a story. It's a warning, a wake-up call. And believe me when I tell you, it could save your life or someone you loved. I'm Paul Walker, 80 years on this earth and still here to tell the tale. I've seen a lot of strange things over the decades. Seen people fall in love in laundromats. I've seen my neighbor wrestle a raccoon out of his attic in nothing but boxer shorts. And I've seen the price of bread go from 10 cents to $5. But what I'm about to share with you today, it rattled me deeper than all those combined. It was just a bath, a regular old bath. But it took the life of one of the kindest, sharpest, most routine-driven man I ever knew, Harold Jenkins. He was 75. Still had a strong handshake and a sparkle in his eye. But one small mistake, one choice of timing, was all it took to send him over the edge. I'm telling you this not to scare you, but to prepare you. Because if you're anything like me, and I think you are, you enjoy a warm soak. That bath, especially after a long day when your joints ache and your back feels like it's been twisted by a mischievous poltergeist, can feel like pure heaven. But here's what nobody tells us. There's a time of day when taking that bath can be the most dangerous thing a senior can do. Now don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging. We'll talk about Harold. I'll walk you through exactly what happened. I'll share the signs, the time window to avoid, and the tips I wish someone had told him. And I'll tell it to you the way I always do, like we're two old friends catching up, maybe over some chamomile tea, or if we're being honest, a sneaky glass of wine your doctor wouldn't approve of. And yes, don't worry, I'll be sprinkling in some laughs. You know me, I can't stay serious too long. Life's already done a number on us. Might as well have some fun on the way out, right? Now let me ask you this. Have you ever gotten up early, muscles aching, bones stiff, and said to yourself, "I'll take a nice hot bath to loosen things up"? Maybe after breakfast or before your mid-morning walk. Well, that's exactly what Harold did. That morning, the one he never came back from, started just like that. Let me paint the picture. It was early October. Mornings were colder, and the tiles in the bathroom felt like walking on frozen meat. You know that feeling when your feet hit the floor and you start rethinking your entire life? That's the one. Anyway, Harold had this old clawfoot tub. Said it made him feel like royalty. Me, I think it made him feel like he was living in a Victorian ghost story. He had his bath set up just right. Lavender salts, water hot enough to poach a turkey, and a little classical music playing from his dusty radio. Said it calmed his nerves and made his knees stop clicking. The man had a whole ritual. But that morning, he got in and never came out. Now here's where the story takes a turn. And this, friend, is the part that made my hand shake when I heard it. He didn't drown. He didn't slip. He didn't knock his head. His heart gave out, just like that. They said it was the sudden change in blood pressure. See, at his age and ours, when you go from warm and relaxed in a tub to suddenly standing or shifting too fast, the blood doesn't move the way it used to. The vessels dilate from the heat. Then when you try to stand, your body panics. Blood pressure drops. You feel dizzy, faint. Boom! It's lights out before you even realize what's happening. And here's the kicker, the real kicker, it almost always happens in the morning. Now why is that? Because mornings are when our blood pressure is naturally at its lowest, especially before we've eaten or had enough fluids. We wake up dehydrated, stiff, and still shaking off the fog of sleep. Soaking in hot water in that state is like pouring gasoline on a flickering flame. It either goes out or explodes. You see what I'm getting at? Now listen, I'm not saying never take baths. I still take mine, but I never do it before 11 a.m. And I make darn sure I've had water, a little food, and I move slowly when getting in and out, because I plan on being around a good long while, and I want you to be too. Look, I know how tempting it is, especially on those cold mornings when the bed's too warm to leave and the only thing that might soothe your back is a good soak. But hear me out. Wait. Just wait. Let your body catch up to the day. And if you're still with me so far, that means you're the kind of person who wants to take control of your health, not be blindsided by it. Now, before I go any further, can I ask a small favor? If you've gotten anything out of what I've shared so far, or if you've ever thought, wow, old Paul might just be onto something, would you mind giving this channel a little support? Hit that like button, drop a comment and share your own tips or stories, and subscribe so we can keep having these talks. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm 80. I don't even know how TikTok works. But I do want to build a space where we help each other grow old gracefully and safely. All right, deep breath. That was a heavy start, wasn't it? But you know me, I can't leave things all doom and gloom. Life's already done a number on us. Might as well have some fun on the way out, right? Stick around, because coming up next, I'll tell you about the time I almost pulled a Harold. Yep, your old pal Paul almost joined the Soap Angels thanks to a dumb mistake in the bath. And if you're chuckling already, good, because it involves slippery shampoo, a rubber duck, and a rescue squad that saw way more of me than I ever wanted to. Let's dive into that next. Now, let me take you back a few years. I had just turned 77. My joints were crackling like dry leaves under boots. My back sounded like a haunted rocking chair every time I bent over. And I'd just gotten this fancy new peppermint bubble bath from my niece, who said, "Uncle Paul, this'll help with your circulation." Bless her heart. I thought, well, hey, if it smells good and makes me feel like a peppermint patty, what's the harm? So I filled up the tub. The steam was rising, the tiles fogged up, and the peppermint smell filled the whole house like I was baking cookies in a menthol factory. Now here's where it all went wrong. It was 7:30 in the morning. I hadn't eaten, hadn't had water, just woke up, brushed my dentures, and thought, this'll loosen me up before breakfast. Well, the minute I sunk into that tub, it felt like heaven. Too good. You know when something feels too good? You should probably be suspicious. 10 minutes in, I felt so relaxed I could have sworn I was floating on clouds. But then I made my mistake. I stood up. Friend, let me tell you, when I say I stood up, I mean I attempted to defy gravity with the grace of a wet baby giraffe. The blood drained from my head faster than gossip spreads in a church hallway. My vision tunneled, everything spun, and I actually said out loud, "Oh no, Paul, not like this, not naked." I slipped, my hand missed the rail, my left leg shot out like a fired noodle. I caught myself barely on the towel rack, which promptly broke off the wall with a screech that would wake the dead. I landed hard. Water everywhere, shampoo bottle flying like a missile. My rubber duck, bless him, looked horrified, probably scarred for life. And there I was, on the floor, legs tangled, towel rack in my lap, peppermint bubbles sliding down my face. I looked like a crime scene from a senior citizen soap opera. Now, luckily, I didn't pass out, but I could have. If I had hit my head, game over. If I'd blacked out, I'd be soup in that tub until someone found me. It took me 40 minutes to crawl to the hallway and call my neighbor's teenage son for help. That poor boy is still in therapy after seeing me like that. But let me tell you what I learned that day. We seniors don't bounce, we splatter. And the older we get, the more careful we have to be with everything, especially with something as slippery, hot, and physically demanding as a bath. Let's talk timing, shall we? You've probably heard folks say things like, morning is best for energy, or get things done before noon. That's great for paying bills or gardening, but for bathing, especially baths, that advice could get you killed. Let me break it down for you nice and simple. Here's when not to take a bath if you're over 60. Number 1, early morning, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Your body is still cold, blood pressure is the lowest, you're dehydrated, and worst of all, you haven't moved enough to get your circulation going. A hot bath at this hour can trigger dizziness, fainting, and even strokes. Number 2, immediately after meals. Your blood is busy helping your stomach digest that oatmeal or sandwich. Suddenly hitting it with hot water confuses your system. You could pass out or feel nauseous. Number 3, late at night when you're exhausted. You're tired, your muscles are weak, and your balance is worse. One slip and your body might not have the strength to react in time. So when is the best time? Well, for most seniors, it's between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. Why? Because you've already had at least one meal and some fluids. You've been moving around, getting your blood flowing. You're not overly tired or mentally foggy. And if something does go wrong, people are more likely to be awake and nearby to help. Now, I know some folks are stubborn. You might be sitting there thinking, I've been bathing in the morning for 40 years, Paul. And hey, maybe you have. But the difference is you weren't 70, 80, or beyond back then. Our bodies change. They betray us when we least expect it. And don't get me started on the folks who still don't use grab bars. Can we talk about that? I once visited a friend, sweet woman, just turned 68. Said she'd never install those bars because they make the bathroom look like a hospital. I told her, darling, if you slip and crack your skull, your bathroom's gonna be a hospital. I get it. We all want to keep our dignity, but let me tell you this, there is nothing dignified about being found on the floor with a broken hip and your nightgown around your ankles. Let's take back our dignity by being smart, not proud. All right, friend, can I share one more quick tip with you? Never lock the bathroom door. I know, privacy is sacred, but if you're alone in the house and something happens in that tub, you'll wish someone could bust in and help you. I use a sliding latch that can be opened with a coin from the outside. Saved my neighbor once. She'd fallen off the toilet trying to kill a spider with her cane. Whole other story. Now, before I wrap up today, let me leave you with this. A bath is a beautiful thing when done right. It's self-care. It's healing, but only if you treat it with the caution and respect it deserves. Don't just climb in like you're invincible. Warm up first, hydrate, eat a little, make sure someone knows you're in there if you live alone, use non-slip mats, grab bars, and never rush. Don't be like Harold. Don't be like me. Be smarter. Because you, my friend, you're worth protecting. And if you stuck with me through all this, bless you. I appreciate you more than I can say. These conversations aren't always easy, but they're necessary. And if even one person makes a safer choice after hearing this, that's more than worth it. So now I'll ask again, from the bottom of my wrinkled old heart, if you found this helpful, go ahead and give this channel a little love. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next talk. Drop a comment. Tell me your bath stories, your safety tips, or even your favorite bath salts, and share this with someone who needs to hear it, someone who still thinks they're 30 when they step in that tub. because we might be aging, but we don't have to go down dumb. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a peppermint bubble bath waiting. But don't worry, I'll be taking it at 2 p.m. with a sandwich in my belly, water in my veins, and a neighbor on speed dial. Take care, friend, and don't you dare slip. Until next time, this is Paul Walker signing off with soggy toes and a full heart.